Hello and welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory, and every Thursday we get together and we make stuff. And we have fun. If you've never joined us before, welcome. And if you are wondering what to do, don't worry. Just have a pen, have some paper, have a pencil. Anything you want to work with will be fine. In fact, let's have a look at what we did last week, where we drew some delicious winter festive drinks. Well, as Anthony says, now I'm thirsty.
I actually had a thought yesterday that we should get a couple of holiday mules and be able to cheers them, but then between now and then I forgot.
It is 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's 10 in the morning for us, yes. But very enticing looking beverages and super fun.
Yes, 'tis the season for inebriation, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. So yes, welcome a few new people. Patience Hutchinson, who says, I couldn't be here live before because I was taking a chemistry class on Thursday. I'm 66 years old and must be out of my mind. Patience.
You know what? I think that is just the coolest. That's always good. Learning, always curious. That is how you live a happy life.
And Lynette says she has her C's candy and art supplies already.
Hello!
You know, you had a meltdown last night about C's candies.
All right, this is gonna sound absolutely atrocious. But someone gifted me, not someone here, but someone in my family gifted me a C's advent calendar, and I became frustrated by the
every night
appalling amount of lollipops in there. I want the candies. I want the C's. So Danny is gonna go get me a box of candies. I almost cried last night because it was a dumb lollipop.
Literally, she almost cried.
Yeah,
crying for candy.
Yeah, I did.
Alfie Jack says, I'm not sure how I got here. I'm not sure whether that's.
So is that an existential comment?
Could be. Maybe you should ask your mom. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
Well, people think that you look beautiful today.
Thank you. I thought maybe I would try to do, holiday sort of vibe.
You do. You look beautiful, and you look very pale in a kind of a medieval way.
Yes. Well, these are my people.
Yes. So, good. Well, I think, and then Heather's getting out her Gregorian chant CDs.
Yes!
Which is a good idea. So today we're going to we're going to get to it in a minute. So some people get impatient when we blather at the beginning, but I don't care.
Yeah,
today
it's your show, and guess what? It's free.
Come late.
Yeah, if you don't like it.
We're gonna do some illuminated lettering.
Yeah.
So if anybody was confused about why we were having, I don't know, monks' robes and things like that as part of the materials, it's just because we're having fun with medieval stuff.
I think there are some people who have been in the chat before that know this is area of interest, shall we say.
JJ majored
Much
in
like See's
French
candies.
medieval history
I
in
did.
college.
A billion years ago.
But you just did it so that you could make a lot of money. So, yes.
Suffice it to say, my parents were not thrilled with this choice. It didn't go over well in the little household. But, what are you going to do? Follow your heart.
That's true. Yeah, that's why he married me, because I'm both French and medieval. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
You have the pate.
It's true. I have to shave it every week. All right, good. So let's see. Let's move on and talk about a few things, and then let's plunge into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
Did you tell people you're... look
Yes,
at that.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
As JJ preemptively said, I've just launched a new course here on YouTube. It's free. It's on YouTube. You're already on YouTube, and it's free. So it's called How to Draw. Because I realize that a lot of us... I kind of take for granted that we sort of know the basics of drawing, but why would we? If you're like me and you didn't go to art school and you've really not taken art classes, you might like to be taught some stuff. So I'm making this series of videos. I put out one yesterday, I put out one today. There's going to be another one tomorrow, another one on Saturday, and I'm not going to do them every day, but I just wanted to sort of get you going. And then I'll probably do a new one once or twice a week for, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for me to tell you everything I know about drawing. Each video is about 15 minutes long. It's designed really for people who don't know anything, but who have never drawn before. But maybe if you have drawn before and you want a refresher, or you want to just kind of get reoriented, it might be... might be good. So Swaggy says, I can draw, but watching it still is amazing. And Grace says she saw it yesterday. So good. So thank you all for joining me and doing it.
And there are going to be more.
There are going to be a lot more. We're just starting out. I want to take time. I want you to kind of just slowly pick up the bits and bobs of drawing, and keep it fun, keep it light, and not a lot of time involved. And let's see.
Your world will get happier.
Exactly. And also, Intrepid has already watched both and drawn. Good.
Jobingus just started drawing a week ago.
This is awesome. Good. So
you have just given yourself...
Hillary wants to know if it would be a great precursor
gift
to my digital class. If you're talking about my iPad class, probably. Knowing how to draw might be helpful in doing that. But I would just say, if you're at all hesitant, just do this and, pop it up on your phone, spend 15 minutes listening to me and watching me teach you the stuff, and then try it out. It should be easy. It should be fun. And I'm going to keep going.
More Danny is better.
Really? That's not, a lot of people don't say that.
Well, I think so, obviously.
Well, thank you. And also, I put down the subscribe button here again, because obviously we want you to subscribe. But in general, because I'm going to be dropping new ones, subscribe, because they'll all be on a single playlist. But that way, you'll also get a reminder. It'll nudge you. Hey, don't forget to take your drawing lesson.
Can I make a shameless plug?
Hold on a second. Go ahead. Yes, you're on camera.
So we have just under 250,000 subscribers on this channel, and our goal is to get to 250.
I think we need like
by the end of this
2,000
year.
or 3,000 more. So we have
we
have 2 weeks.
Help us.
So if you
Help
have
us.
if you have friends who said like, I wouldn't mind drawing, or whatever, or JJ, you're a typical person who watches YouTube but never subscribes.
I know.
So just subscribe.
Sometimes it feels weird. Like, do I want to make this commitment? But we're not asking you for money.
You can always unsubscribe. It's all free.
But it would be nice to make this goal.
Jabingus forgot too. So yes, subscribe.
Yeah, get in.
I like to subscribe. I subscribe to thousands of things.
Yeah, that's true. You're a subscriber. You're
a
joiner.
I'm a born subscriber, born joiner. All right. So Winsor Newton is sponsoring us today. Look at how gorgeous these calligraphy inks are. They are.
They're foxy.
They're great, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about them. But we are giving away a set of, is it one set?
One set, yeah.
We're giving a set of these calligraphy inks. I'm going to explain what the difference is between calligraphy ink and drawing ink in a second. But they're gorgeous. I love them. I guzzle my way through them on a regular basis. So if you would like us to send a set, we're going to only be able to pick one person who can get them. So send us an email at DWM, which stands for Draw With Me, at sketchbookschool.com, and send us your mailing address. It has to be a U.S. mailing address because we're sponsored by Winsor Newton U.S., unfortunately. But you're welcome to buy them if you'd like. Look at that gold. Come on, gold.
Stunning.
And you can also write to us if you want to. There's our post office box. But these are fun. If you've never used ink with a dip pen, these are really fun to play with. I also like to just do all various kinds of things with them.
Deb Riggin is asking if they're waterproof.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about it all.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Okay.
But good question, and thank you, Deb.
So here is a little sheet that I made. So I took the colors from some of the colors in the drawing ink because I wanted to see like what's the difference between what they look like on paper. These are the drawing inks, and these are sort of the equivalent, purple to green to red and so forth, to calligraphy inks. They're not always have the same names. That's why I did two different reds. And as you can see, the calligraphy inks are deeper, richer, less transparent than the drawing inks. Drawing inks are just, they have a different purpose. They don't need to stand out as much. But this is what it says that they are. They are light fast. They are non-waterproof. They are non-clogging, although they don't say specifically that you could use them in a fountain pen. They're not fountain pen ink. It says on the bottle for brush and dip pens. So they're definitely designed for that. They're intermixable, which is good, so you can make your own colors by combining them. And they're really designed for a dip pen, an airbrush, and a brush. By the way, some people complained last week that we no longer have leaf blowers. So we brought them back, and you can hear them in the background today. There are leaf blowers going on.
You know,
so if you hear noise, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's for old time's sake. It's a inside joke, if you will.
So I tried them out with a few different nibs, and I'm probably going to use them today. Different nibs. And let me just show you which nibs I have here. So these are for a dip pen. This is the 886 Esterbrook, which I wrote down as 668 because I'm an idiot. So this is the Esterbrook, and the Esterbrook is a nice kind of classic American pen, and it is, obviously you can see it, you can do nice fat thick letters, you can also do light letters. It holds ink reasonably well, it has a pretty big reservoir, and this is all using the black calligraphy ink.
Hey, Elizabeth has a great question.
Hit me.
Does ink ruin watercolor brushes?
Not in my experience.
You gotta wash them right away.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's true of anything. Wash it with a little tiny bit. I use a little bit of dishwashing soap, or washing up liquid, as we
Yes,
call
remember
it.
washing up liquid? That was
civilization. I also use the G nib, which is my kind of go-to nib. You can see here the G nib, which is finer, more flexible, holds quite a lot. But this is the most amazing pen. It's a brand new kind of invention. Let me see if I can get it up close here. Can you see it? No.
Yeah.
All right. It kind of goes out of focus.
Well.
So this is called the Tachigawa nib. And see what it's like? It's like a bullet.
Isn't that ever cool?
It's so cool. And it has all these...
kind of took you a while to get the hang of it, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm still working with it because it's not super flexible, but it's a completely new design in pen nibs, and it has these slots in it that hold an incredible amount of ink. I mean, you can just write and write. Like, look at how much I wrote here, and it just never died. Like, I've read that you can dip it once and write an entire page, which is insane. But as you can see, the lettering is more even. It's not kind of crazy and flexible, but it's just, and here I am writing with it using the calligraphy ink in brown, and here I switched and tried writing with the drawing ink in brown. So it's
kind of hard to see on camera, but it's really different in real life.
With the nib, yeah. And you can see how this is the G nib. See how the variety and flexibility in it, whereas the Tachikawa is kind of like just consistent. Really, really nice to write with.
I mean, would now be a good time to say that for the exercise we're going to do today, people could really use anything?
Yes.
Use colored pencils?
Yeah, I set up a thing at the beginning where I explained that. Feel free to do anything. We're just going to do an illuminated manuscript. And here is gold. gold ink.
Gold.
Look at that. Can you see how it's
Silver and gold.
right? So, all right. So that's enough
Silver
talking about
and
the variety here. But so this is just kind of how I've been playing around with the materials. I'm personally going to be using calligraphy inks. I'm also thinking, because I want to do maybe a little bit of watercoloring, I brought in my metallic watercolors from Cotman. Just to try it out. So let's put this aside. And okay, so let's have a look at some inspiration.
Let's.
So here's some inspiration. So if you've never seen an illuminated manuscript, this is what's known as sort of an initial letter. And it's a big fat letter that sits at the top of the page. And it can be a painting like this. It's you can see the detail. So obviously these are medieval, but look at how bright and beautiful it is.
Stunning.
I mean, this is so much of it, and so many different ways in which you can do it. So this is just a single color. It's gorgeous. And look at that with gold intertwined letters. This is gold. It looks like it almost has some gouache on it, and it's almost impossible to tell what letter it is. I guess it's a B, probably.
B.
Yeah.
Go with B.
And then look at that R. So there's a good use of gold. So if you have some gold leaf handy, I'm going to try doing some stuff with gold ink, but you can do all kinds of embellishments like this. And again, it's like the initial letter into the
just got to make it fancy.
block of text. Yeah, so
make it fancy, special.
Make it fancy. And so so you can just be like this, kind of an elaborate intertwined vines and flowers or whatever. Here it becomes more and more abstracted. This N that's all intertwined with stuff. So it doesn't have to have necessarily meaning, all the embellishments. Here's a beautiful one in watercolor. I assume this is watercolor. And you can see there's like little characters around it. You see there's a little Cupid and a mermaid.
It's just delightful.
It's gorgeous, right? Yeah. And then I also like the ones that have like little characters in them, like this one, where you have a little monk, sort of like a self-referential, would you call it a meta sort of letter, with him writing a letter inside the letter. Or here's one where this one person is, are they sort of stabbing each other? No, I guess one person has an axe and the other person is riding on a horse and stabbing them. I don't know, but they both seem quite.
It's a joust.
They both seem quite fine with it. It's not really a problem. So yes, maybe it's a joust, but it's something very. I don't know. Look at her legs. Is it a her? Maybe.
No.
I don't know. Probably not.
Oh, maybe it is.
Look at her legs.
No, but it probably. But
maybe it's a man. Anyway, here's some more fighting going on. A lot of fighting here in these letters. So if that's what you're up into today, you could do something like with people stabbing and animals biting, or not. Or here's an animal biting, kind of. Is it itself, its own tail, or is it biting another animal? But it's making an A in either case.
It's an Ouroboros.
It's a what?
Ouroboros.
Is that a name? Is that a technical name for it?
Saying that wrong? I honestly, it's like when a snake bites its tail.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. And then this is a more modern one with a sort of medieval overtones, but look at that little wolf guy kind of leaning on the crossbar of the F. It's kind of cool. And he's standing on a heart. And here's some guys who are really into the letter R. They're just like, this R is gorgeous. Look at it. Oh my God, look at the detailing. Can you believe that? It's like, these are guys, yeah, sort of like the kind of guys who hang around like a collector car, but they're like, this R is awesome.
That doesn't look medieval. I think...
I think not, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. And here's one with like, interesting, with like a little kind of almost like Mount Fuji in the background with a windmill for some reason on the top of it, and then some little clouds. Just really nice little flowers in the corner. Here's a sort of Victorian looking one, completely different. Victorian with flowers and a little cottage in the background, and much more, less sort of, looks less like calligraphy and more like almost printing.
Probably from one of those vintage Valentine's
Victorian cards, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Death stabbing a dude. is this even a letter? Maybe it's not even a letter. Maybe they're making the letter N or something. I don't
Well,
know.
there's the D below it.
Yeah, so that's a different way of doing it. So you could put a picture on top of it. Here's a really elaborate
Obviously, you
one.
can spend quite a good deal of time on one of these.
Yeah,
Speaking of time,
Yeah, I could look at all these.
I know
forever.
they're fun to look
They're
at.
so cool.
Honestly, go down the rabbit hole. Just
Yeah,
get on.
Go to Pinterest.
Google.
Go to Pinterest. Honestly, that's a great source. But here's what we're kind of going to do: where we're going to take a letter and we're going to write a little stanza around it. Okay, and here's another final letter, and here's just this. This is just a person doing it, showing you how it's done. So, all right. So I'm not going to show any particular reference for this because we're going to kind of make it up. But I thought I would start with a little sketch. So this is what I was thinking we could write, but you're up to you if you want to write something else, which is chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Shall I sing?
So, not yet. So it's a sort of a secular thing. It's not. But I was thinking what I was thinking, and again, I don't know if there's going to be time for it, but I was thinking of maybe doing 2 letters. Does that seem crazy?
No.
And maybe doing, this is something I haven't really seen, which is instead of an initial letter, the final letter. So I was thinking of doing like chestnuts roasting.
I mean, what does a chestnut even look like? It's like a little brain, isn't it?
No, it's on the outside. It's just like a pod, open
Oh.
fire. And then here I would say Jack Frost nipping at your nose, and then the S, and then the E would be in here. So I would do the E and I would do the C. That was what I was thinking.
Okay, cool.
Right, and then, so just to think about a little, I'm not going to really do a full-up sketch, but I'm just thinking, like the C, maybe having a fire inside of it with some flames, and then maybe doing some embellishment around it, like that, and some other stuff. But that's sort of generally my thought. And then E, I was thinking maybe it's snowing around it, so there's sort of little asterisks falling, and maybe there's a Jack Frost kind of guy who's sort of leaning against it, with a, I don't know, what does Jack Frost look like? He has kind of wild hair.
I don't have the foggiest notion what Jack Frost looks
Well,
like.
he looks like whatever we want him to look like. I'm going to put him like in a parka, and he's just sort of leaning against the E, and he has a red nose. So maybe he's the U and nipping at your nose. Maybe
Why is his nose red?
Because it's Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Oh.
So that's sort of roughly my idea. And yeah, let's get to it.
All right. Wow. How about an aggressive leaf blower right in the window?
All right, good. So we've got the
Are you sure you
leaf.
don't want me to sing? I can try to beat the leaf blower.
I think we've got the leaf blowers going. Let's just stop there. So yeah, where should we begin? I think I'm going to start with my G nib. And what color? So maybe I'll do it in browns and golds, maybe. Honestly, I'm no expert, and maybe
Any
you
old
are.
paper? Anything?
I'm using Winsor Newton Bristol.
Oh,
So
a
it's-
Bristol.
Yeah, so I like a good Bristol. This is, as I said,
It's
Winsor Newton
thick.
Bristol Extra Smooth, and it's 250 grams.
But
So
you can use anything. You could use copier paper.
you could use. Don't use toilet paper because probably the ink won't like it. But I don't know. I'm not trying to make a Christmas card. I'm just trying to have some fun with this. So let's not get too crazy. As you can see by my initial square, there's no fear of me getting too crazy with this. But maybe I
That's
will.
what makes it fun.
Maybe I'll do it with a brush, just because.
Because you can.
Well, just because I want a big fat one. So chestnut. So I want to do a C. And I'm not trying to be medieval about it, so I feel like I can do something that feels more modern and not be too upset about it. But Yeah, so this here, I'm using that same calligraphy ink, but I'm doing it with a brush. And I kind of want it to be a little bit
Shaggy?
shaggy, almost like wood, like it's a log, you know? I think that's kind of cool.
I do. I love it.
Yeah. And then maybe we can do some flames, maybe gold flames. So I will use some gold ink here, and but maybe I should paint the background blue darker. Should I do that? To hell with it. Well, what I'm just thinking is the gold will look better, right? If it's against a background. No, then the whole thing's going to be too dark.
Did you practice this?
No, I didn't.
Sometimes Danny practices, rarely.
I thought about it. I did give it some thought. But
Laura's mentioning a thing when we were looking at reference. Some pages people just do a whole alphabet, or you can just do a page of letters.
yeah, and we've done that here before on Draw With Me. We've done like crazy lettering, I seem to remember.
I mean, at this point, what haven't we done?
Well, we haven't done this, clearly. Oh, man. Yeah. So there's a little bit of gold. Do a little bit more with the brush. So this sort of consuming the thing. Maybe you put a little bit of red in it too.
For the flames.
Flames. And don't be alarmed if this looks terrible. It might stay looking terrible, but it might actually get better.
I mean,
as we put more stuff
as
in
we've
it.
mentioned, if you're new to us, most things go through an ugly phase
Yes.
on their way to being
They're like ducklings. So.
inspired masterpieces.
Right.
This kind of looks like a mouthful of teeth.
Well, yes. That's exactly what I was going for. So what else? Maybe some embellishments will make it happier. Maybe some purple, or should I keep it in the warm tones? Maybe I'll do some watercolor background. That could be nice. So I'm going to do a little bit of. This is sort of a pewter color. I don't know if you can tell that yet, but it's just going to be just something that gives a bit of contrast to it. I'm sort of seeing this as the kind of initial step. And then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to add more and more kind of just texture to it. See if we have time. Yeah, it's 10:30. We have time. So it's sort of like a shadowy fireplace. Right now is the background. Let that sit for a minute. So I think what I might do is I might start lettering the actual stanza here and let this dry in the meantime, and then come back to it and add more sort of embellishments, texture, twiddly bits.
Twiddly bits.
Yeah. All right. So now I think I'm going to use brown ink for this part, and I'm going to use a G-nib with some ink here. Oh, let me put, yeah, chestnuts. Okay, I was going to say, how do you spell chestnuts again? Brown ink is nice because it's, initially it looks kind of like black, like it's going to be black, but it's warmer. It has more sort of a nice old feeling.
I think I read something in maybe Architectural Digest or one of those type of taste maker pubs, and they were talking about shades of brown are the new black for 2024.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, I'm on brand. I'm on trend.
You're ahead of the curve.
Brown is the new black.
Well, they were talking about how that's going to be the top color for painting a room.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
That seems rather depressing.
I don't know. A chocolate room? That kind of sounds nice to me.
So 70s.
Sitting there and eat. Yes, it is kind of 70s, but I think there's a whole swing toward that aesthetic.
There is. Roasting. I love the word roasting. Roasting and grilling are just two really good words.
Are you hungry right now?
I guess. Could you go out and roast me something for breakfast?
Now, do you consider lettering drawing?
I do. I think I'm drawing letters.
I agree with that.
Oh, look. A giant spot. All right, well. Now you know it's an original.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my signature. Just signed it. Signed it. Roast nuts chesting on an You know, if I was a monk, I'd be in deep trouble right now. Look at that. What do you think, Jen?
I think monks had a lot of time on their hands, and you only have 25 more minutes.
Oh, boy. Monks didn't have to work for you.
You know what monks had?
God.
I refer you back to the festive holiday beverage. They had beer. They had mead. But they did have beer.
And they had Frangelico.
Speaking of the 70s,
Oh, yeah.
get a brown wall and a snifter of Frangelico.
How about a nice avocado fridge? All right, so there you go. It's still not dry. All right, so we might as well get on with the rest of it. So I'm thinking.
Oh, somebody has a great idea. The spot is a chestnut.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
In fact. Thank you, whoever thought of that. You're making me look good. That old chestnut. There you go. I think that's kind of what a chestnut looks like.
Should I Google? I guess we could have researched this.
No, we don't care.
We don't really. It's like
don't.
what you make it.
It is what
Do
it
they
is.
have... No, that's an acorn. I was thinking of the little lid.
It was Sarah Crittenden who thought of that.
Oh, yeah. You know, in
should've
New York
known.
City, they have carts and they
course,
roast
yeah.
them. But they kind of have... they're smooth. They almost look like a mahogany sort
Right,
of.
that's what they are outside. Then you crack them open, and they're soft like little brains inside.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to switch to blue, just because it's sort of like that's the kind of warm part, and then now I'm going to do the cold part. How's that for art?
Horse chestnuts versus sweet chestnuts. Yeah, you don't want those horse chestnuts, apparently. I'm surprised we don't have an expert in here.
On chestnuts?
Yeah. It's funny how often we'll be spinning around in circles about something we have no idea about, and some expert will pop in the chat.
Self-proclaimed expert. What would you have to? What qualifications would you have to be an expert on chestnuts?
Probably be a biologist.
Maybe.
Probably. Should we talk about our favorite book, Lab Girl?
That's true.
Oh, wow. We love this book called Lab Girl. We talk about it probably 4 or 5 times per year. It came out a few years ago. If you've never read it, it's just excellent. It would be a good holiday gift for a person you love.
It's true.
Michael Nobbs is here. So Michael's chiming in. Horse chestnuts are conkers.
Yeah.
Is that a Britishism?
Yeah, conkers are where you tie a chestnut to a string and you bash it against somebody else's chestnut, and then you try and it's like a game.
That kind of sounds like a thing you could have done in your illustrated C.
My illustrated what?
You know, the references had a lot of knights bashing each other. So I'm saying the C could have been 2 people with conkers.
Oh, that's true. But life is short. And I've done a log. That is the ne plus ultra of logs. Kind of losing my way here in terms of how do I get to... I should have drawn this square first. Where should I do the square? I've been thrown off by this drawing of the chestnut now. Maybe it'll be a small one. Let's draw my square so I know where I'm aiming at.
I don't think we did conkers in the U.S. Maybe I didn't. I grew up
No,
here
it's
in
not.
Phoenix.
It's a very sort of Dickensian or sort of Billy Bunter kind of thing. It's not an American thing at all.
Oh, it definitely wasn't growing up here in Phoenix, Arizona. We didn't have any conkers.
No, you just throw cactuses at each other. Oh, okay. I managed to land this plane here. I was really worried about it for a second. Oof, that was scary.
The aforementioned ugly phase. You're
Well, I
working your way
just
through it.
was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get to the final letter.
No, I knew what you were afraid of. It
Yeah.
was legit fear. So as everyone was commenting on the extensive duration of our leaf blowers, this is when trees in Phoenix finally molt their leaves.
Yeah, it's autumn, people.
It took a while, but just before we turn over the calendar to a new year, our trees shed. And we have beautiful trees in our yard. We have pear trees, we have Chinese elms, we have 2 separate stands of pomegranate trees.
We don't have chestnuts.
But we do not. We have pistachio trees. We have 2 pistachio trees.
All right, so what
We
I've
have, and
learned...
we have mulberries.
Yeah, this paper is Bristol, so it's not perfect for watercolor, which is okay. I mean, it is...
It's not perfect because it's smeary.
No, it's a little bumpy. It's a little bumpy. It doesn't like getting wet.
What's going on, Twiglet? Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, my love.
All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of texture. Oh no, I did it. You should be chastising me, not laughing at me. This is disastrous. Look at that. Fortunately, I have a white Winsor Newton Calligraphy ink.
Dun, 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 dun. To the rescue. Maybe that's the runny nose.
That's true. Sneezed. So now I'm just doing some sort of little embellishments and such to sort of make it...
What are you doing, Twiglet? Come here. Come here. Oh, stretch. Come here, you goon. Come here. Come here. Yes. Everybody wants to see you. Were you having a nap?
I'm trying to think of what else could be, like little spirally things maybe.
I mean, I would say like yellow kind of sparks flying.
Well, again, I think we can afford to be abstract though, right? I don't need to literally make a painting of a log burning.
Oh, but it'd be so fun.
I think I will go in with some gold though and do some other stuff. You're right about that. I realize all I've been doing is using my G-nib. I haven't actually used my cool new Japanese nib at all here. But it's best, I don't find it that great for calligraphy. The what's it called? The Tachikawa. I find it really good for writing though, and you can use it for line drawing as well. But it's really not a...
Well, you're still
not
kind
flexible.
of getting the hang of it, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's just not
How long
flexible.
have you had that pen? You've only had it a year.
It's not designed really to be flexible, though. It's designed to be to hold a lot of ink and to be really consistent. So.
Oh, see, an expert popped up. Nicole127, although she's equivocating, I think American chestnuts got wiped out about 100 years ago by an invasive species of fungus from a similar species we imported from Asia. I bet that's why no one can describe a proper chestnut. Yes, we needed Michael Nobbs from England to give us a proper Conkers.
Well, Conkers is a game.
No, I know, but I mean, nobody in America knows about Conkers for this reason, right?
We do have a song about it. It's an American song, right? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah.
So clearly we've got some...
I have to say, the carts in New York that, you know, you have like a snowy day and they're on the street corners and they just make this incredible smell.
All right, there I put in a little achoo there. to sort of explain it. Okay, so now I'm going to draw this Jack. What should I draw? I'm going to draw him in red, I think.
I don't feel like red. Well, maybe it's because he's cold. He has a red nose.
Right, but he's also wearing like maybe he's a Santa-like character.
Oh, okay. Why not?
So I think he's got his back to the E here. He's got his arms folded. Trying to draw sort of like one of those medieval manuscript people that are.
You've definitely
sort of
taken
cartoony,
inspo.
right? That cartoony looking. It's got a little bit of a red nose.
Ah, David Reddick. Mel Torme and Rob Wells wrote the song in 1945.
The Velvet Frog.
Twiggy's kind of a velvet frog.
That's true. That's true. So there he is in red. And where's my red cap? I have brown, but what happened to the red? Oh well. So what else should I do with this?
Gold. Silver? Do you have silver?
I have silver.
Silver
paint.
feels colder.
Yeah, I have silver paint.
Yeah, do it.
There is a silver calligraphy ink. I don't have it though.
Did you spill it?
No, I never got it.
Never got it.
Yeah, so this is. That's white. This is silver. See how that works, if at all. Yeah, this sort of has a snowy vibe to it.
Sure does. Uh-oh. Somebody's angered this pug. Ooh, Karen Barber icicles. Great idea.
That is a good idea, yeah. So there could be icicles. Again, I should have done maybe a dark background, but I didn't want to make this too dark. I wanted to keep it light. So we see the icicles.
They could hang off the box, the bottom.
Yeah, but they'd have to be white though, right?
Yeah, good point.
So, well, this is one of those things like, they say like if you see it reproduced, you don't get the full impact. You have to go to the museum to see it, to really see the silver. So this is going to be one of those things where you're going to go, yeah, it was didn't look too bad. And then other people will say, but did you go to the exhibition, the Danny Gregory exhibition at the Morgan Library in New York?
Oh, the Morgan
Where you
Libraries.
got to actually see
Such
exactly what it looked like.
wonderful
God, it was breathtaking. I will never forget it. I will never forget the majesty. I'm just going to do a lot of little X's that are slightly bleeding to represent. I don't know.
snow?
Sort of. If it works, it's snow. Otherwise, they're just little X's. Just to give it a bit of texture background. And they're bleeding nicely, too. So they're kind of like melting. That's what it is. They're melting snowflakes. I saw a thing, I think it was on Reddit, where somebody had a photo of 2 drops of water on a piece of paper. And they said, I found 2 identical snowflakes. Unfortunately, they melted. Here we go. I'm drawing some nice little icicles here, hanging off the bottom of the box.
It's kind of a reprise of the teeth from your C.
That's true. Yes. Art historians will be able to analyze that. So yeah, how are we doing time-wise? We're almost out of it.
Yeah. Okay, Twigs. Okay, baby.
I'm just going to put in a few more embellishments here. So it's to fill up the white space. Feel free to do the same.
More is more. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling relieved. Yeah. I might have put in a few spots of gold, like little sparks flying. Yeah, this might have.
I think it's charming.
You do?
Yeah, I like it.
You don't think it would have been better if I thought about it a bit before I did it?
You know, sometimes overthinking is the death of creativity.
I don't really have that problem. Do you think? I mean, I do tend to overthink.
I was just going to say, yes, I think
I do
self-awareness is
the death
positive.
of creativity.
Yeah, you do overthink things.
Think? What do you mean by that? I'm going to put a bit of gold on that chestnut too. All right. Well, I think if you found this in like a museum, you'd be impressed, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I definitely.
Like, what if we said this proves that there was actually a medieval version of this, and that actually Mel Torme stole it? That damn Mel Torme, velvet thief.
Nicole is asking about the Winsor Newton Calligraphy ink in white, but you probably haven't used it.
I have it in white, but it's an old bottle.
Can you use it?
It's an old bottle.
Is it a tool you can use in a multimedia or a watercolor setting?
Yeah, I mean, I have this all kinds of white inks. I think this is designed for calligraphy, so it's not like a opaque coverall like you would have if it was a gouache or something. And that's the problem I'm having with it right now is it has a fair amount of pigment in it, and my bottle is old, so it's a little. I don't want to bring it onto camera right now. It's not ready for prime time. So
it's warts and all.
It's not one of the fresh.
You know what?
Fresh ones.
It says something about the fact that your bottle is empty.
It's true. I do like it, and I use it quite a lot, but I'm not using it today.
Right.
But it would be absolutely appropriate for now, and instead, I think I'm going to just use a bit more of this white watercolor, this white metallic watercolor. Just going to put a few little snowflakes on the thing here. One thing I didn't really demonstrate today is that you can mix these colors too. So you could mix a new shade of blue-green or something like that if you wanted to.
But that's the thing. If you get them, you get to play with them and make discoveries.
Right. I'm trying to show them kind of most what they're like out of the box, but you can push them in all kinds of directions because it's a nice, resilient thing. Yeah. Right. Good. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, in spite of having two big blobs happening, I think we pulled it off.
Brilliant, as always.
Brilliant, as always. Well, thank you.
Are you going to play the little holiday film? Or did that go by the wayside?
You mean...
the one from
Prosh? No.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe we could play it next time.
All right.
It was very nice.
So we're done.
Deep breath.
Babe,
Intrepid heard the drinking sounds.
It's gulping.
That was a festive drink of
Inspired by the holiday beverages. She's enjoyed a good deal of water.
Guys, thanks very much for joining us, and let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
So again, if you would like to sample these calligraphy inks and put them to even better use than I have, write to us at dwm@sketchbookschool.com and send us your U.S. mailing address. If you don't send us the address, we can't email them to you. That was confusing. We wouldn't email them to you. They're bottles of ink, so we will mail them to you if we have your mailing address. We would love to see your calligraphy and your illuminated letters, so please post them on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, in the schoolyard, and tag them, #SBS, that's Sketchbook School, Draw With Me. I write an essay every week. It's coming out tomorrow, and it's a humdinger. I also do one on Tuesday, which I'm going to probably talk about next time, because I just did a whole thing about fountain pens that a lot of people have been very excited about. And if you would like to subscribe to that, we'll talk about it some other time. How's that for a call to action? No, but you can. I will put it in the notes below if you want to subscribe. It costs a tiny bit of money. It's $3.50 for a month, for the first month.
It's like, what, half a latte?
Not even a latte, yes. And I'll teach you to draw in my new How to Draw class, which is coming out yesterday, today, tomorrow, and future days. I hope that you'll check it out. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can join us again next week on Draw With Me as
you can help us make our goal.
Help us make our goal of getting to 250,000 subscribers. And I don't know. It was fun. If this is your first time here, I hope you weren't shocked, horrified, bored. If you were, I guess I won't see you again, but hopefully I will. And thanks for joining us. From me, from JJ, and from the off-camera Twiglet, is she coming up aboard here? Please draw us. We have to take something away from this animal, and we will do that now. See you again next week. Bye-bye.